Hi, I'm LoLo Roberts. I'm a practicing gratitude girl that strives every day and every way to recognize and celebrate my blessings. God is the center of my life, and His love allows me to live life to the fullest. Every day is a day of growth and self-improvement. I am blessed to have you join me on this podcast. Love, peace, and gratitude.
Once again, here with LoLo, Grateful Gratitude. We thank you for finding this podcast. We thank you for finding the blog and the website, and coming soon, the YouTube channel. We encourage you to share it with friends, family, people that you think may need it. And I'm going to tell you this, everyone needs it.
Everybody needs it. And even if you are living a grateful life, you can always have more gratitude in your life.
And I think that I'm the perfect example of that, because I think I'm the most grateful person on the face of the earth. I'm very cocky enough to say that. But I get a whole lot I love talking to you. I love doing these podcasts with you.
Thank you.
So I think you're right. Everyone can get something out of this, no matter what level of gratitude or ungratefulness you may have. This is a great product for people to listen to.
Well, and I think I always want to remind people that, gratitude, number one, is absolutely free. You don't have to go out and buy anything to have gratitude. It is within you. You need to choose to activate it. And you can activate it at a very small level or a very huge level. And, the more gratitude you have in your life, the happier you're going to be. The easier you're going to find life to be as well.
And I know I'm going to make this sound really simple. And it's not as simple as I'm going to make it sound. But if you are listening to this, I can guarantee you have plenty to be grateful about, okay? Because if you're listening to this, that means you've got some internet access, you've got maybe an iPhone, you've got a computer. You have plenty to be grateful for. And I've heard you speak, Lolo, you and Lexi did a presentation. As a matter of fact, today as we record this, that I saw. And one of the things you guys talked about where, there's always going to be someone less fortunate than you.
Right.
There are people that if you go on church mission trips or you just observe, that have very little in your mind that they should be grateful for, but they still find things to be grateful for. And, one of the examples I'll use is a church mission trip that I went on we're probably about 25 miles north of the southern border of Mexico. So we're deep into Mexico, and in a village where people literally lived in cardboard houses. They made their houses out of tarps and out of 12-pack cardboard 12-pack containers, and pieced it all together.
Right,
and that's how they're living. But you talk to those people, and they still find things to be grateful for.
Oh, I know. Isn't it amazing? People are... There are people without running water. There's people without indoor plumbing. They don't have the soft, cushy bed to sleep on at night. They don't have the warm water to take a bath. We have all that. Not only do we have all that, a lot of times we take it for granted. And, we mentioned today a saying from Confucius who said, "I was complaining that I didn't have shoes till I met a man who had no feet."
Yes.
To me, that is so powerful and so profound because I have my vision, yet some don't. I can hear. And my little baby Levi, when he started laughing the other day, and he's 4 months old, and I'm like, what if I couldn't hear that? What if I couldn't? And there are people, but there is a beautiful, beautiful young girl at my church that is probably in her early 20s. And she is deaf and mute. But every time I'm at the door greeting people, she goes out of her way to come over and hug me. And she doesn't realize how much that touches me and how blessed I am that she took the time in her day to come see me. And I can't imagine not being able to hear. I mean, there are times that background noise, I can't hear real well. But not to be able to communicate, to speak to me, and I mouth good morning to her and smile, but she's not there for me. What I'm saying? She's not there for herself.
Yeah.
She's there to touch other people's lives, and she doesn't even realize what an angel she is.
And that's the thing, and those are some of the greatest angels.
They are, and I look for her every week. If I didn't see her, I think it would really depress me, and we do, and I buy the carved hearts from Kenya from the family that all they do is just carve these hearts out of soapstone and then send them to the U.S. for us, to share. And I think, but they're so happy doing that. And they do that together, mom, dad, and all the kids. That's their business. And, you told me about the little girl that on that mission trip that just hugged you and didn't want you to go. Now, wasn't she blind?
You're about to kill me. Don't do this.
But wasn't she blind or something? And
she was a 6-year-old that was blind.
And how she touched your life.
And she was at an orphanage. Gosh, you're going to kill me here. I was at an orphanage.
It out of you today.
And we were talking, and she was speaking Spanish. I was trying to speak Spanish, but didn't understand too much. And we're all about to leave. And at this point, we were joking around. We were having fun. She was trying to tickle me. She got a kick out of me laughing. She got a kick out of me being bald, which I'm not really bald.
You're not bald,
but
though.
She took my baseball cap off. She felt the top of my head, and she said something like, "No mucho pelo," or something like that. And when she could tell that we were leaving, she got really serious and said something to me in Spanish. I didn't understand what it was. And the translator came over, and he told me, I said, "Hey, can you tell me what she's saying?" And he said, "She's saying, hey, thanks for coming. I hope you can come back again," or something like that. And so I hugged her goodbye and left. And then later on at dinner that night, I'm not going to be able to tell this without breaking up.
That's okay. Go ahead.
The translator came over to me and he said, "Hey, I got to tell you something." And I said, "Yes." And he said, "That's not what that girl was saying. I lied to you." And I said, "What was she saying?" And he said, "She was saying, I know that I can't come with you, but can you stay here?" And he said, "I didn't want to tell you the truth because I wanted to leave. And I knew that you wouldn't be able to leave."
Yeah.
And it was just, But once again, the little girl, she's 6 years old, blind in an orphanage, and was smiling and enjoying herself. And she may not even realize, but she was finding things to be grateful for in a position where, you would think on the surface there's absolutely nothing. She's blind in an orphanage.
Well, and the thing is, here's a little 6-year-old that has forever touched your life. And by touching your life, you can think back and just think, what a wonderful little angel that was put into your life. Yeah. And that's exactly how I feel about this gal at church, And we get so hung up with, oh my gosh, my skin's breaking out, or I got to do all this today, when you know what? We've got so many blessings and so many things that we just need to stop and take a deep breath and say, hey, but we are so blessed to have these things.
We haven't talked about this, and it may be a topic for another episode, but the law of attraction. And I don't completely buy into the law of attraction, but I think I kind of live it because, I feel like I've got a great life. And there's probably a good part of me feeling like I have a great life is because I'm grateful for everything that I have, and that kind of turns into having a great life. Does that make sense?
Yes. Well, in the law of attraction, it's basically what you put out there, you're going to get back. And I truly believe that. I mean, I can tell you stories, and we can do it in another podcast of, things that I wasn't sure how it was going to happen, and all of a sudden it happened, and how just removing a lot of negativity and putting positivity in my life has made a huge difference. But, there's also a law of gratitude that we need to talk about at some time too. But I watched a very powerful movie, and you may have seen it too, called The Secret, and it talked all about the law of attraction. And my only issue with the movie was it didn't recognize God. It just said the universe. And to me, the universe it's very interchangeable with God.
Yeah.
And when I took the movie and watched it and took universe and took that as God, and God puts these things in your life, it was a much more fulfilling movie for me. But it gets you thinking.
Yeah, and that makes sense to put God in there. And
I do believe what you put out there, you get back. And it states all through the Bible that God wants you to have an abundant life. And, you sow what you reap. And,
Let me say this about the Bible real quick.
Yes.
And you may disagree.
I'll let you know.
I know a lot of the clergy that I hang out with, and I do hang out with a lot of clergy. I think they don't necessarily like me saying this. But even if you're not a believer, even if you're too smart for faith, and I put smart in air quotes, even if you don't have that faith yet, which I hope that you'll get, read the Bible. Because the Bible makes a lot of sense. Even if you read it as an owner's manual, even if you read it without being religious, If you read the Bible, it makes a ton of sense. And one of the things that fascinates me about the Bible, not on a religious level and not on a faith level, is when you read the stories in the Bible, I think we can all agree that the Bible is a pretty old book. Okay, even if you're not a religious person, or even if you're not, faithful or anything like that, we can all agree that the Bible is a really old book. And the stories in the Bible, those people thousands of years ago had the same exact problems.
Absolutely.
And dealt with the same issues that we deal with today, minus the technology that we have today. But on a personal level, on an individual level, they have the same problems. They had the same struggles. And to me, that's fascinating that over the course of thousands of years, people are still the same.
Well, and everything transcends time. But I think that there's such great guidance in the Bible.
Yes.
And, my heart is with God, but I do tell people that when I coach them that whether it's the universe, a supreme being, whatever your belief is, even if you're not sure how this all came about, but it came about, there's still magic and miracles in it. So, I'm going to stick with God, but y'all can stick with whoever. But yeah, absolutely. I just think that those angels are special to us, and we need to keep an eye out for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very well said.